Hello there, folks on the YouTube land. This is installment number 4. Now, I told you here the other day that my family, extended family, been taking advantage of my mom and their property for a number of years. And what we did was, on the advice of the local chief of police and a lawyer, we give them a 30-day notice to come get the camper and a few other items. They just recently got that in the mail and threw a bloody gasket. And just having a conniption fit. My cousin, which like I said, I look at Robert like my brother. Sometimes your brothers do dumb things, and they need reminded of that. Somehow I'm the bad guy here. Of course, I've been a bad guy for 14 years, so I'm good with it. Somebody has to do it, and I'm tired of it. And unfortunately, his mother, my aunt, my mother's older sister, she's a good woman, means well, but she's taken it a bit personally, and very clear in the letter that it's nothing to do with her specifically. Trying to do everything I can to help that woman out. Like I said, I'll show it to you, but won't put the details. But there's the letter that was sent. Of course, it's backwards to you, and it's a 2-pager explaining the situation. It's overdue, and that we're done playing. And it's not just me that made that decision. It was my immediate family all stepping up behind my mom, and put you in an awkward spot sometimes. And some of history's worst feuds started this way between extended family members, and I hope it doesn't turn out to be that way. I mean, I've already heard threats to call the police, which I welcome, because the police are on my side. They know what's going on. They've been in the background with this ongoing situation for going on 8 years. Sad that we have to go that route. My family's got bucket loads of personal issues and problems and medical issues, and myself is the least of the problem, least of that situation. And recently had a job interview. Hope it goes well. God bless those people. They're really willing to give me an opportunity to get on my feet, and it's hard to find things like that and not be grateful for it. I won't give you the details of that because, frankly, like I said before, there's a lot of crazy people out there that think it's their job to cause problems that ain't necessary. Leave those fine folks out of it, but it's a decent business, and it sounds like there's a lot of opportunities. So be grateful and work if they hire me. Like I told you, I was out in the garage the last couple videos, and you can see this slow progression of things changing. It's not nearly as bad as it was before. I burnt 3 of our burn piles. I added a new one, so I still got 3 more to go. Fortunately, the burn season here at this locale goes on into November. That's going to be needed because a lot of it. My mother decided to go buy a chainsaw and expects me to cut some trees, so might be burning next spring too, with the way things are going, especially now that there's a potential job on the market. Now, I do this next part for not out of some need to shame family members, but to make a public record of stuff that it's hard to explain in words unless you've seen it. And like I said, the property, the messes and stuff, that's not 100% their problem, but say it's 85-90% of their problem. I'm sure that it can be mixed and continued and justified in their mind in numerous ways. Now, take into account, I had to dig out a piece of this. I've made 2 load trips to my aunt's apartment, taking her stuff. More than half the stuff we took to her, she decided she didn't want, and we brought it back. Some of it went into the garage, and some of it went onto the burn pile because we just don't have the place, the storage, to be storing other people's stuff indefinitely, especially if they have no intentions of ever using it. We're supposed to help families, supposed to keep mindful of them. I guess my cousin's really upset because he didn't believe, Richard would never do something like that. And, maybe the old Richard wouldn't. But the me, I came home and I seen, stuff like this. And just pan around you know, this room. And take in mind that this open area right there directly behind me actually was all the way to the steps. Now, you can make an argument. The people, my aunt could say, well, she didn't have anything to do with any of this. And I'll sit there and I'll agree some of it. But most of it's her living. And then in the process of moving out, moving's messy. Yeah, I get that part. But the other part of it is being hoarders. Now, my family's got a history of that, and it's not necessarily a good thing. Uh, like I said, they make a bunch of bad TV shows about that sort of stuff. But like I said, this just keeps on going. Here's a side corner of this room, and I'll just step over here because I don't want to go in there where there's no lighting. But if you look, there's another entire bedroom, literally so deep in stuff, and it goes off to the back and to the right. You just can't get through. You can't get through. And then make things worse, my wife had a whole apartment full of stuff that she had to bring with her. And because my aunt had taken over 3 of the 4 upstairs bedrooms and turned it into this, over time, I grant you, I'm sure she wasn't like this all the time, but it did get pretty hairy up here. It is hairy. I've killed 6 mice in the past couple days alone up here. I got three mouse traps sitting right down there on the floor. Just where are they at? Where are they at? There you go. See, look at the steps. Look at the dirty carpet. Look at the mouse traps. And they're just going full tilt every night. The first day we came up here, I came up here to get my boxes, which you've seen in video 2, sitting out in the garage. Came out of the back part of that central room. So part of that room is empty, but I shoved a bunch of other stuff over to that empty spot just so we could get in and out of there. Geez, some people sit there and say, well, how empathetic is this? How could you do that to, a 75-year-old woman and her 51-year-old son? And, well, how could they do that to my 72-year-old mother who's dealing with lymphatic cancer? After my dad died, she out of the great goodness of her heart and love for the family, she took them in, gave them a place to live, and she's been paying for it ever since, and then in small increments and large increments. And sometimes your life changes and things don't go the way you want. Make some horrible choices, and you got to make the decisions. They're hard decisions. What do you do? I'm empathetic to my aunt's situation. Now, ironically, she's in a beautiful apartment with beautiful furniture, and it's new. And this house is 100+ years old and well lived in, and a nightmare right now. God bless these people. I'm doing my best, and we'll fix this. This can be fixed. It will be fixed. Unfortunately, I seem to be moving at a speed that the others don't, my extended family are shocked by. Well, you spent 8 years making this mess. I'm not spending 8 years on cleaning it up. I'm sorry. And, I think Joe Q. Public would agree. The first day I stepped up here 2 weeks ago, my wife and I trucked out 5 garbage bags full of partially open food items, dozens and dozens of Gatorade containers that were half full. Just look at the table. After we cleaned off the mess, this thing was 2 feet deep in stuff, but get a good look at that. Would you like that in your house? Would you live that way? Now, fairness, I've been in people's houses. Like I said, I was a pothead for a good chunk of my life. I've been into some pretty gnarly places. I never once expected my mother's house to turn into one of those, and it wasn't because her doing. She can't even get up the stairs, people. She can barely get up the 1/2 step on the porch to get into her kitchen. And she hasn't been upstairs in 5 years, 6 years. She has no idea what this is like. I'm telling her. She kind of knows, but we're holding back the real bad part, and she can't not notice all the stuff we keep trucking out of here. Geez, what do you do? They want the police involved. They want to bring the police down here. I welcome. I already emailed before I did this the local chief of police. It was on part of his advice that we sent the letter in the first place. They're very upset, and I can get it. Hey, Robert, I understand. I do. I really do. Yeah, I don't understand. You know, I don't know what to tell you. This this, Jesus, seriously, dude, serious. You know, treat your own mother better than that. That's the sad part. From everything I hear, you don't even treat your own mother very well. Well, that's your business. My mother's my business. You know, my sister, my wife, they're my business. You know, my sister, she's cheering me on, but she at the same time she went to try to deal with some of this last year, and that she had threats against her. They tried to put a freaking restraining order. She had my mother's power of attorney, and they tried to put a restraining order when my mother was dealing with, when she first discovered this lymphatic cancer, had swellings out to here on her neck, and it looked very bad. And she tried to do right, and they did her wrong. Well, you know, they knew I was getting out of prison. I'm not saying that had anything to do with it. Maybe it did. I hate to think that. Eventually, the discourse and the disagreements, the anger issues, all the defective thinking that was going on around here. Well, Robert, he moved out years ago, found himself a nice woman who wouldn't tolerate this kind of behavior at her house, but it's okay at my mom's. Robert, shame on you. Shame on you. Never would have treated your families this way. I've made 2 trips to your mom's house. I'm willing to make 10 more to help her get anything and everything in this place that she owns. I'm willing to help her when she needs help. She only needs to ask, and she knows that. And she might forget it at the moment because she's angry and upset. I don't know. She expected me to get her permission to send her son a letter. Well, this wasn't between her and me. It was between me and my cousin Robert. Yeah, good. Folks, you know what I'm talking about. Well, I thank you for watching this thing. If you watch it, I've been getting a few hits on things. Still got that GoFundMe thing going. That's a joke. Really, that's a joke for most of us. Not everybody. All right. Good night, folks, and until next time.